Hey guys, VEVE is taking action against bots and account restrictions. Stay tuned to find out how.
What's up, YouTube? This is A5 Crypto.
Hey guys, it's Crypto Addict here.
Here to give you guys another update on the VEVE. So what's going on? What we got going on here?
Yeah, so before we actually get in, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. Show us some love, show us support. We really appreciate it. But yeah, this episode, we're actually just going to talk about the latest article that VEVE released, and that's regarding bots and account restrictions and what you need to know about this current situation.
Yep, so the time has come for all these botters and these these drop ruiners. So hopefully this helps out with the drops.
We'll see what they have to say here. We're going to read through the article and give our input as we go through it.
Yes, sir.
So if you can, I think you have it up. If you can share the article here as we look through it.
All right, so on their Medium page, it says bots and account restrictions. What you need to know. So in the little topic right here, it says anti-bot measures, account restrictions, policies, and procedures. All right, let's get into it. There are now more than 1.9 million active monthly users on the VEVE app, and while growth and popularity of the platform have been incredible, it also brings new challenges. Bots, auto-clickers, scripts, and emulators are used to brazenly attack all digital sale platforms, dampening the experience for genuine fans and collectors. VEVE has always implemented the highest standards of security to protect both your digital assets and your app experience from nefarious and malicious participants. While this will continue to be an ongoing battle and evolving strategy, we want to provide an update of the effectiveness of these measures to date and additional detail on our policies and procedures. So here in the bold, it says any users violating the VEVE terms of use will face account restrictions and potentially be disabled.
Yep.
What do you think?
We do see that pretty often coming up on Twitter or whatnot about account restrictions going on. But yeah, I want to point out first is that VEVE has 1.9 million active monthly users. That is huge, especially since yesterday we were just talking about them having 1.5. And it's like they just got 400k, 400k additional right there.
Yeah, especially right off the bat of 2022, with so many users just jumping on the platform, and we saw how the crypto markets have taken a correction, and actually pretty much every other market as well, like stocks and due to the inflations and whatever's going on like the economy. Like we noticed that VEVE kept growing and money was continuously being poured into the platform, so which is exciting times. So all right, awesome. And it says multi-layer bot protection. So let's see what they're doing here and what this means. So VEVE implements multiple layers of protection, which begin the moment a new account is created. Okay, these protections include multiple firewalls alongside autonomous AI, manual and autonomous reviews, data scouring, and services rendered by world-class third-party security providers. To date, more than 300,000 accounts in total have been disabled for botting or similar activities. In addition to identifying and restricting nefarious accounts at drop, giving legitimate fans and collectors a fair chance of securing their favorite collectibles. For some of the more popular drops, this figure has been as high as 32% of all incoming requests.
Yeah, so this is big. They're just kind of clarifying what's actually going on in the back end, and this was kind of needed because there was a lot of FUD floating around the community about bots getting all of the drops or something. Like they have to clarify that they are aware of the issue and they're working for it, and that's why they made a response here. man, bots are not easy to get rid of, right? Like we all know, like even in a sneaker game or whatever you come from, there's gonna be bots, or there's gonna be people finding workarounds on how to cheat the system. That's just a normal thing that's gonna occur when there is profit that can be made on the app. So that's kind of be expected. It looks like what they've implemented is they say they have multiple firewalls, and I think one of the main ways that could be used is if you're one of the main things that it was used prior is if you actually may have used like a data center to try to maybe get the drops as well, because I know if you're in a sneaker game, you can have servers on data centers, and you can load multiple like Nike bots on the servers and have them all try to get the drops for you, and you can monitor all these servers remotely. So that was one way that you could do it. So these firewalls could be ways to prevent like certain addresses or data centers or whatnot from maybe trying to get the drop. And it says autonomous AI, manual, autonomous reviews, data scouring. This could be data scouring, could be kind of to me that's like they're tracing records of like transactions, because at the end of the day, if you're using bots and you're trying to benefit from it, these transactions usually trace back to a certain source some way or another, whether it be through the gems or through maybe the collectibles getting sent there. Like if you're running a script, these are a lot easier to get traced, and you'll get caught through that pretty easy. You may think that you're smarter by sending it through like 5 accounts, but all of these eventually link to a certain number of accounts, and I mean that's how you're gonna get caught,
So here's a question though. I noticed that a lot of people on Twitter were getting disabled, So I mean, how does their multi-layer bot protection initiate that kind of false positive in that sense, right? Like if people are innocent, and how are they getting flagged in this situation?
Well,
like what would trigger that?
There could be a few things, like a lot of it could just be maybe something you bought in some way. I mean, it's tricky because we don't know their algorithms or what they're actually using, but something you did or may have done may have triggered something similar to a bot activity, and that may have flagged your account. But from what I understand is for those, they're able to go ahead and re-enable if they notice that it's not anything malicious. It could be anything. I've heard like someone just having an account up that was going for like a drop, and they didn't get the drop, but they still had the buy button. They closed the app and waited the next day for the next drop. When they reopened the app, they still had the buy button. The moment they clicked on the buy button, their account got flagged as a bot.
Interesting.
And
I mean, that's like, I feel like that's a problem on their end, not the user. So
well, like I said, that triggers maybe something that they feel is a bot, maybe because maybe it was clicking on a buy button before. Like I don't know if maybe the user tried to push it at right before the counter, thinking that maybe this will help them get the other drop versus the one that was from the past day. So you never really know. It could be something that someone was trying something out, and I mean, at the end of the day, is that particular activity triggered something that made their algorithm or scripts feel like you were potentially a bot, and then that restricted your account. It wasn't a complete disabled account, but it restricted it because they had to review to make sure you were not doing anything malicious there. But I mean, there's accounts that are genuinely getting restricted that are not bots, and they've said that in like the AMA that there's some that do slip through. But for the most part, they're getting the bots, and even the past, you can see like the past week or so, it seems like a lot of these bot users were trying to unload because the accounts may have been getting disabled and trying to unload it before their accounts get disabled. So a lot of things, but that does show that they are actively getting rid of these bot accounts. So that, to me, that's a positive.
I mean, this is good. I mean, the fact that 300,000 accounts in total have been disabled, and possibly a good majority of them are bots, which is ridiculous, right?
It's always going to be like the 300,000 accounts are disabled, but how many of those are actual bots?
Yeah.
Someone's always going to be like, well, maybe 100,000 of those are legit users and not actual bots. Bots are actually still being used. Legitimate accounts are being disabled, but there's always going to be an argument one way or another, you know?
I mean, did you have any issues when they did this or no?
Yeah, I've never had any issues. I mean, like I said, I've never
during this time,
really
at least,
consider doing anything that would possibly jeopardize like my chances of losing the account. So yeah, I know I'm not doing anything wrong, so I've never experienced anything where my account's restricted or disabled.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, shall we?
Yep, let's keep going.
Okay, it says account restrictions and policies. Okay, there's a range of features within VEVE that a collector has access to when using the app as intended. Access to these features is a privilege, not a right of use. And as such, any account that violates our terms of use stands to have its access to these features restricted or the account disabled. So, restricted accounts will still have access to the collectibles they have purchased, can enjoy them in AR, build showrooms, show off their collections to friends, families. However, access to the market and the ability to send collectibles and gems is not available to restricted accounts. Disabled accounts. When you create your VEVE account, you also agree to adhere to our terms of use. If you have violated these terms in a manner that is vocally, wow, I can't even read right now, provable and nefarious, such as using a bot, script, emulator, auto-clicker, and anything of similar nature, your account will be disabled.
So they're kind of, because restricted accounts is, I guess, when they're reviewing it, right? And disabled accounts is when they have like confirmed that you're a bot and you're like, okay, they're putting this account on lockdown, right?
Yeah.
So restricted looks like you have access to everything, but they're just not gonna let you, do transactions on the marketplace, because in a way, if your account is getting reviewed at the time and they find out that this is related to bot activity, 100% of the time, if your account was restricted, you're sending your stuff off of your account from the marketplace or sending it to another account 100% of the time. So I understand why they disabled that feature for restricted accounts, because that's a period where they have to go into review for that account. Disabled accounts is, they may have confirmed that there was some type of activity that was bot related, and per their terms of service, they're always referring back to the terms of service that they can disable your account for that if you are found to be botting using a script or an emulator or anything like that.
Yeah. So I mean,
this is just them clarifying the differences between restricted and disabled, and what would get your account disabled versus restricted. Cool. I'm gonna read the next one, or did you have any input for that?
I mean, it made me think about how, initially for the idea of crypto was to create a decentralized type of experience, as well as like a peer-to-peer type transaction. I mean, do understand that VEVE in itself is a centralized in the situation. However, I mean, it just goes to show that there are benefits to both, right? To decentralized type of experience versus a centralized experience. In this situation, this kind of protects the user, from any kind of issues of getting hacked, as well as having a great experience and enjoying their NFTs. So there's benefits to both. It made me think about being part of a centralized platform versus a decentralized platform.
Yeah, I like how you brought that up. There's times where you need some type of centralization, and this is a good example of it, because if this was just a DApp, where there was no centralization, you would have bots fully taking advantage of this platform, and it would be a dead platform. The fact that it's centralized, they're able to take action against it and help combat the issue here at hand. So there are times where you need that. The moment it does go to the open market,
Yeah.
Then it kind of moves away from that to where now you're able to start storing maybe your collectibles on like your MetaMask, which is a dApp. So once you get to that point, your NFTs are free to do whatever you want outside of the VEVE app. Of course, before you can get it off of the app, there has to be something that they have to do to maybe verify you, like I guess KYC, just in order for you to be able to transfer off, just to make sure you're an actual user.
Yeah.
Or whatnot.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously their their terms of use, and they've stated multiple times that you know, any over-the-counter type transactions are not are definitely frowned upon, and you know, you could definitely get in, your account could definitely get into some kind of restrictions and problems if they find out. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good thing you brought that up. I like that. Let's go on to the next one there.
Okay, here we have understanding account restrictions. Okay, before we dive into potential red flags, we want to take a moment to remind everyone that using a bot script emulator is not only the action that will cause your account to be restricted on VEVE, as this may be causing some confusion. 1. Failing to pay for an auction within the specified time period 12 hours after the auction has ended will see your account restricted from the market for 72 hours. 2. New accounts are also restricted from the market for the first 72 hours. Okay. And then 3, I didn't know that either. 3. Scamming. We take all reports of scam activity very seriously, and our community is astute in reporting them to us. Technically, any transaction that takes place outside of the VEVE app is not only against our terms of use, but may also lead to account restrictions where there's legitimate dispute or scam report. So, yeah, like we stated, even it's still a centralized type platform. So in this situation, they do restrict those from completing any transactions outside of the VEVE app. And this is a reminder, any transactions made outside of the VEVE app are at your own risk. VEVE does not support any trades, transactions that take place outside the app, nor will we act as arbiters of these disputes. We will, however, act to restrict and disable scam accounts where the evidence is clear.
So that's interesting how there is ways you could get restricted even if you weren't botting. And one of it was they said that if you fail to pay for an auction within the 12-hour period, and for that you get it. Well, it's a restriction from the marketplace. So now when you get 72 hours from the marketplace, which I understand. I don't want to lose a bid to someone that doesn't intend to pay for the auction, or a lot of times the auctions last 24 hours. You may have bid on something for 800 gems and then eventually find out that the price has dropped and now the item is selling for 700, and you no longer want to pay 800 gems for it. In that case, you're going to take a hit. You're going to be restricted for 72 hours because that sucks for the seller. They're trying to sell their item and it doesn't get sold because you don't plan on paying for it, and they have to wait 12 hours for it. So yeah, that sucks. So I understand that. I don't even know if 72 hours is a good enough punishment for that, because someone could just be like, well, I'll just take the 72 hours and move on,
Yeah,
like
totally.
I'm not going to take the hit for this auction. I'm just going to not pay for it. And yeah, that a more stricter little type of
approach,
may prevent people, or just have people more serious about auctions in general, because it does get kind of crazy if you're using the auction feature, which I like to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a different way to play the game. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like for an auction, when you're entering it, you're agreeing to pay at the price that it ends at. So I mean, it would be unfair otherwise. Yeah, I mean, so
they give you the pop-up warning, so they let you know ahead of time too. That if you don't pay, you're getting restricted. So yeah, maybe they need to up that punishment, because I feel like that is something that people will maybe try
take
to
advantage,
buy
right?
a lot, or really
Yeah.
take advantage of.
Yeah.
New accounts being restricted, that was kind of new. I didn't know, but I mean, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, because if you're a new user that actively just came in and you want to, well,
I mean, it's a way, right? It's for, I think it's a reason for people spamming new accounts and using that to, let's just say they, you know, I don't know, someone sends them something for dirt cheap, they sell it quick, and then they flip, and then, you know, it's just,
yeah. So that's what I'm wondering. Is this a restriction on buying or for selling? Because then it would make sense if it restricted you from selling for 72 hours.
Yeah.
But I don't see the punishment in buying. You know what I mean? Because buying may
that's
still
true.
be okay if you're in the marketplace. So if it's restricting the entire marketplace, then that would suck, because let's say you get someone to join the app and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I can't buy anything yet, I have to wait 72 hours. That sucks for them, because they may be genuinely trying to buy something. But to sell, maybe if they first enter, be like, hey, you will not be able to sell anything for this first 72 hours. That would probably make sense, because you don't want someone just coming in and like a botter sending in an account a collectible and they're just gonna dump it in the marketplace. So it makes sense for selling, but buying, I feel like you probably could still allow buying in a marketplace. 3 was interesting with the scamming, and they put a little reminder on it that they're not going to support off-app transactions, and a lot of scamming does happen. I've seen scamming where someone is trying to send like USDT to someone that's purchasing a collectible. Like, let's say, hey, I'm gonna
like
send
through an escrow or something, or what? Not even through an escrow?
Maybe not even through an escrow, but they're saying they'll send you, like, even if they do it through an escrow, like the person may not realize it, depending on what escrow you're using. But they send like USDT, but it's their own token that they created. It's not the actual USDT. They just named it USDT on the Ethereum network, so they may have sent like 40,000 of their own token, and then you send your collectible and you're like, okay, this says USDT. They're gonna think it's right because it's listed under your MetaMask as USDT, but then it actually isn't. It's a different token. So yeah, those type of scams can happen, and let's say something like that does happen and you get caught. I guess VEVE saying that if it's clear and there's evidence, they can disable that account. But yeah, stuff like that does happen, and it's something that you kind of have to be aware of and keep your eye out for.
All right.
Did you have any
next section? No, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think we pretty much hit, addressed all those points. So, all right, let's move on. It says our policy on restricted and disabled accounts. Let's see. Any obvious and provable accounts that are using bots, scripts, emulators, or otherwise in an attempt to gain an unfair advantage during VEVE drops will be disabled. With all of our bot protections in place, a small number of false positives are likely to occur, where we cannot unevocably prove nefarious activity. There is a system in place to re-enable your account as soon as possible, and we are working hard to speed this process up. However, please keep in mind thousands of accounts can be disabled, restricted during drops. Sucks. For those that have been affected by that, false positives. Let's see. Please head to the link and open a ticket, providing any necessary details for your issue. Our support team can see all of your in-app activity and will be able to determine quickly if your account was falsely restricted. In the event that your account has been falsely identified, you will be asked to provide some sort of identity verification, KYC, to prove that you own and have access to the account in question. Upon passing KYC, your account will be re-enabled. Please note, if your account information does not match your government-issued ID, we are very limited in our capacity to re-enable your account. So please ensure your account information is up to date. You can reach out to support to any to update any of the non-editable editable field in your account settings. Failing to pass KYC will result in a 12-month account restriction. Similarly, a second offense may result in permanent restriction.
12 months for failing KYC. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's a year's worth of possible massive gains to miss out. So my question is, why risk? Why risk it? Why risk trying to do all of this when you can easily play the secondary markets, auctions, as well as attempt to get the drops, and then buy it at a price that you feel, wait for the price to drop and then buy, right? Like at the end of the day, this is all still early and things are still going to go up. So why risk it?
They say that they can prove the nefarious activities fairly quickly here. So
yeah,
for these false positives, I'm sure that whenever an account gets restricted, the script or whatever they're running is going to have a log of reports of why it was triggered. So when you report your account and they're looking through this, like seeing why it was flagged and what reasons it was flagged, they can be able to come to a really quick conclusion that you are tied to a bot in some way or some form. Whether it be you not actually using the account, but you're continually getting collectibles from someone that was flagged for a bot, then you're tied to it. Like they can see that, like they can trace how you're getting collectibles, and like when they have bot accounts that are restricted, just seeing where they're sending it, and you could be tied to that. And for that reason,
whether I could definitely see that happening, like you mentioned. Like if your account is tied to, let's just say you hire someone like on Fiverr or whatever kind of freelancing type service, and they're the ones that are actually doing the drops and doing the botting, but they don't care at all about VV and stuff. They're just accumulating their collectibles, and they've agreed to another person who doesn't try to bot or try to script, but they're sending those collectibles to their accounts. And then, I mean, that's still a red flag in my opinion. I feel like that's why certain people have been flagged, because maybe they are receiving these collectibles from a person who is actually doing it on their end,
Yeah, and as they look through these logs
as a service,
they're not going to just like disable you just for like one or maybe even two, but if it's a reoccurring pattern, that's pretty suspicious, and that's pretty strong evidence on their part.
But
if for whatever reason, like I mean, it does happen when you're falsely, accused of something. Like they do say that they give you the KYC option, and this may suck for some people because there could be instances where maybe it's because it could be a family event, maybe it's your son or your daughter that's helping you out, and they're maybe like 13 years old or something underage, right? And now they have to KYC. It's like, how are they going to KYC? Now you're kind of screwed out of that account, right? So there could be situations like that where I could see that being kind of unfortunate, and they may have to handle it differently, because you could be like, that's my son's account. Like, what are you gonna do? Show like your birth certificate, or how are you gonna prove this?
I mean, that kind of situation, I feel like if they're the parents, then they should be the guardians, right? That they kind of have to KYC in this situation.
The account's created under their child's name, so they won't be able to provide KYC for it.
I don't know then. I don't know. That's,
I mean, it's a tough
situation.
Like a special situation, for sure, and they'll have to really look into that. But I'm sure they've run into it multiple times, because you do have like families dealing it, like people wanting their children to help out with these drops. The more phones, the better your odds, right? So it's gonna happen
for sure.
All right, let's keep going.
Common misconceptions. First things first, let's discuss some common issues we see plastered across social media, many of which are affecting new users and community sentiment. Question 1. I ask this all the time. Why is it so hard to land a drop? Many collectors feel that pushing the buy button at the exact time it appears is a guarantee to reserve a collectible, without giving credence to the huge amount of competition on every drop. With 1.9 million active monthly users, you are competing on average with 200k plus users for 30k additions on every drop. Makes sense. In other words, you have a 1 to 7 in chance of securing a reservation. And each drop only becomes more difficult to obtain as the user base and competition continues to increase. Many drops have fewer additions than this, lowering your chances to reserve a collectible further.
Yeah, so, well, to start off, I know why you're not getting drops. It's because you haven't reset your router. We went over that.
Trust me, I did it today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Let's see how it goes.
But yeah, it's true. Like, the competition's high. Like,
yeah.
It's natural. Like, you feel like you hit the button first, but so does everyone else.
Yeah, you know? 200k plus use. Yep.
And if you don't get it, you're going to try to find some excuse as far as why you did not get it. And yeah, one of the misconceptions is it's because there's bots. And yes, there is bots, but there's also a lot of users, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and bots don't guarantee you get drops. So I can guarantee you that bots do not guarantee you drops, and users do beat bots, even though there's bots out, you know? It's just it's just like the lazy way out, and you're putting yourself at risk for using it.
All right,
that's for 30k editions, and 30k is for like comics, and you know, comics have big drops. So collectibles, you have a way lower chance of getting.
Yeah, it's like nearly impossible, but it is what it is. That's the name of the game, right? When you have so many users. And but yeah, waiting room drop model. While the current drop system has been fun up until now, in order to accommodate a rapidly increasing user base, we are transitioning to a waiting room drop system. Awesome. The waiting room will open a certain amount of time before a drop, at which point you can put your name in the ring for your chance to secure a reservation. Collectors will randomly select from those in the waiting room, which will also help to level the playing field across different devices. Of course, anyone participating in the Master Collector program or the OMI utility program may have additional chances to secure their favorite collectibles on drop day. So I think the MCP, it's still gonna be tough in this situation, right? Because you have people who have secured, like the OGs who have gotten so many drops early on, their MCP points are going to be significantly greater than a new user that has just joined, and their odds, obviously it says right here, are going to have a better chance to secure the collectibles, which is still not really, I wouldn't say is exactly leveling this playing field, because still you have the MCP program, and then now you have people who have gotten in OMI way less than 0.003 of a penny, you know. So I don't know if this is the right sentence to say level the playing field in this situation, because right now you're kind of handing it off to the MCP folks and the people who are holding the OMI.
So straight off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, I never really liked the waiting room model. But I understand they're trying to do something different, and you know, the people that want this new drop model are gonna find themselves pretty disappointed regarding it, because now you're gonna be like, well, this person just has a ton of accounts, or this person's OG. Like, okay, yes, master collector points are good, right?
Yeah.
If you got in, not even if you just got in early, but if you have a lot of collectibles and you're accumulating, because it's only going to be a 6 months period that you have to spend your points. And at this point, if you're not spending that many in 6 months, now you're still going to say that you're benefiting the whales here, because you can still create a ton of accounts, right? And you can now spread out your collections amongst all of these accounts. And all of these accounts can now get you master collector points. And all of these accounts can now raise your chances on a certain drop that you want. Because there's going to be drops where you just don't care about, right? And you're not going to use your points for it. But there's going to be accounts or certain drops, like let's say the Pikachu, you're going to want to put everything you have into that, right? And they're going to use all of your accounts that all have been accumulating points, you know, because you can only use a certain amount in 6 months, and they may only be targeting certain ones during those 6 months. They're going to pretty much use what they have on each of their accounts just on that drop. And not just that, this is also going to benefit whales in a way that the OMI utility program is, where yes, if you're new to the program, then yes, you can get raffle tickets or drops and increase your chances through OMI. And yeah, again, that's going to, and you're going to see people saying that now we are benefiting whales. Whales are getting more and getting richer. You know, like the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer. That's what's going to happen here, is because you're going to see people complaining about that. Because as someone that is a whale that has money, you can load up whatever it takes to get these master collector points on each of your accounts. And you can also increase your chances through the OMI utility program. And all those together almost guarantees that you're going to at least get one of these drops. So there's going to be workarounds for it. And of course, you know, if you have the money to load up all of your accounts in OMI, your chances are going to be significantly higher. And at that time, you're going to see a lot of complaints about the waiting room, which is why I'm still not a big fan of this. But I understand they're trying to do something different.
Yeah, I mean, I see that they're trying, but I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, we'll just have to see how it plays out, to be honest, and see if it is actually a lot of people who have a ton of MCP points and OMI, they're getting nearly all the drops, right? I don't know, so.
Yeah, but like even MCP points is not really the solution. Like you could stack up on the cheapest common comics because they're all going to give you a quarter of a point.
Yeah.
And so you could just buy a ton of common comics. You could buy a whole bunch, and I'll give you a whole bunch of, you know, MCP points every day. Yeah, and you could easily just go through the feed and like images or leave a comment, you know, whatever gives you these points. But yeah, these master collector points, there's ways around it. There's workarounds to everything, and you know, nothing's ever fully fair, whether it be bots or just whales taking advantage of the system. Something's gonna happen, right? They're just gonna have to try to find the medium to it, and I'm not sure that this waiting room is, but we're gonna try it out. We're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, at this point, they need to kind of I feel like they need to like let us know how many MCP points we exactly have, because I'm still clueless on what my current amount is right now, because I've been holding specific collectibles as well as specific comic books that will give you a certain amount of points, you know. So yeah, people will complain regardless. Totally agree with you, man. What's up, Tiny?
Appreciate the support here. Yeah, they're gonna complain regardless. Like,
yeah,
no one is ever happy. Complaining is the easiest way to let out your frustrations for not getting what you want. So it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna satisfy everybody in this, but hey, sometimes it's necessary to complain, right? To make sure that your voice is being heard, and that you know, I think VEVE wants to. Yeah, VEVE wants feedback in a sense to create a better experience for those. If we weren't to complain, then you know, then something's not right. So to an extent. So anyways, let's move on.
Let's keep going. It's a long article, man. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Oh man, how many?
The bot.
All right.
Accounts.
Let's see. This bot account just got 1,000 additions. After every drop, we all see the incredible success of a bot on social media who has somehow managed to secure 1,000 collectibles from 3 accounts or something similarly outlandish. Knowing that the payment process system takes at least 30 seconds to 1 minute to complete a purchase and drops sell out less than a second, it doesn't take much to see the falsehood to these claims. And ultimately, they are showing a false success rate to lure you into purchasing a bot. These bot sellers are trying to sell you a product. Once these bots are caught and blocked by our system, the vast majority of them become scammers. And aside from the risk of losing your money, you risk the same punishment as them for trying to use one, a disabled account. We investigate every single report of these accounts and the successes, and every single one of them has grossly exaggerated their claims, like you mentioned earlier. Moreover, many collectors call in the help of friends and families on drop days to try and get their hands on their favorite collectibles, which are then transferred to their account. This does not violate our terms of use, and while this can appear to be a bot activity from the outside, we do investigate these accounts and can assure you these are legitimate transactions. Similarly, there are many different types of collectors on VEVE, and those with quick enough fingers in the market can amass multiples of the same collectibles when it opens. Again, whilst this may appear to be suspicious bot activity, then they are relisted. We often investigate these accounts only to find they are all legitimately purchased on the market. If that is not the case, these accounts face the same restrictions as mentioned above.
Yeah, so this kind of does explain it, because you have bot sellers, and yes, they are trying to sell you a product. So they are going to show you a screenshot of them getting all of these drops, and you know, you never know. All of those cell phones that you see in a picture, they may just be logged in one account. You know, may just be one account that once they get the drop, they log into that one account and show that they have a pending order. So they may have only won one drop, and they're just showing that one account. They log into that one account on multiple devices to show that they have a pending order on each of the devices, and that's just for marketing. That's how marketing works. And if you're trying to sell a bot, you gotta market your product, and the only way to market it is to show that you're getting a ton of drops. So I don't think
totally.
All of those phones are hitting. I think that the ones that don't hit, they're logging into an account that has hit, and they have to show that they have something working and a working product. That's how they're getting buyers.
I wonder
go ahead.
So I wonder if they have maybe this will be a good idea, where if they're able to find out who exactly is using bots and list out their account names. I don't know if that's invading like some kind of privacy or whatever, but maybe this will discourage people from purchasing from this particular account on the market, right? Or something. I don't know, maybe just kind of expose them in a sense. But then again, you don't want to expose people who are false positives, which is kind of unfair as well. So maybe that's not a good idea.
As a business, you don't want to throw people in a fire like that. Like that, that's something you kind of keep to the side. Let's see what time. Better hope you're having a great week and a better weekend. Yeah, we're doing good.
Appreciate it, brother.
Cold over here. We have a little freeze going on.
Definitely survived a freezing storm apparently last night, so we're all good. Just nice and cozy up in the house.
Quick fingers at work
while holding massage gun.
Hey, I use massage guns on those blind box drops that they like to drop on Saturday. It doesn't work for like comics. Because you can't spam on comics. That you gotta work on your timing. But you always gotta get that lower time or counter in order for you to have a better chance.
And then keep spamming it, huh?
But massage gun works. I'm telling you, massage gun works because I get almost every blind box drop using it. I get the lowest timer, and every time I get that pop-up, that massage gun hits it every time.
Is there a blind box tomorrow?
It's the Cover Girls.
Nice. Okay, cool. Might have to pull up my massage gun. Test it out. Gun For some reason, the contact is not like I don't know. Maybe I'm not using the right tape or something. I don't know. I'll probably have to test it out.
All right. It depends on your screen too. So for me on a tablet, it works like any hot wire. You could always test it out just by rubbing a wire on your screen to see if it actually makes contact to it.
Yeah.
Or maybe even if you have like the ski gloves where they say that
Yeah.
you can touch your screen with it.
Right.
Maybe taping that to it, and maybe that'll help too. There's a lot of things you can try to do to try to figure it out, but as long as it's making contact, then it's gonna work for you, man.
Cool. I'll have to do that.
Yeah. Sorry,
All right.
what else did they say here?
False positive, right? Is that what we said? I think we're on false positives now.
Here,
right?
I saw that. I wanted to mention. Oh, okay. So they talked about friends and families.
Oh yeah. And then sending and then having them send it. Yeah, because I do that all the time. Like I have my wife try to secure me some drops. She hasn't been successful, but anyways, she'll the plan is whenever she does get a drop.
I can imagine it.
The plan is whenever she does get the drop, ideally she would send it to my account, right? Because I'm obviously the one wanting to collect them. So, but she may, she's more than willing to keep it, of course. But that's kind of the situation that we have here. But yeah, and I'm glad that they say that there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, that doesn't violate their terms of use. So. Yeah. And
they also talk about there's a lot of activities you can see that does appear to be suspicious. Like a lot of the same people listing the same item. I can't really knock them for that because I stack a ton of collectibles. And
yeah.
If I wanted to, I could create a wall like that, but I'm not going to because that's just gonna cause someone to list it lower than yours that is really in a rush to sell. So that is a strategy too, setting up a sell wall just to have someone listed below your wall, and maybe you scoop those up and then remove your wall. So
yeah,
that is
it's a good strategy, right? To stack, and because you have an opportunity to make a profit, sell one, and possibly keep one and just play with the house money, right? So it's a good strategy. There's nothing wrong with it.
So those like low additions, like you can see it pretty common where people are trying to buy it out, and it happens. So you can't automatically claim that this person has a ton of these collectibles already is a bot, because maybe they're pool siding it, man. Like I don't know, it happens. People will try to buy a lot of things to get majority of the supply, and maybe try to manipulate the price early on that collectible. So who knows? It's possible. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bot, and that's kind of what they're trying to explain. But it's good because, I think VEVE may even have a team that's dedicated to checking the market when it opens, and they're going to go in and investigate these accounts as it drops or when the market opens. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do have a team dedicated just for that.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's keep going with the false positives here.
Okay, here are the innocent folks. While there are some false positives of our automated bot systems, 99% of innocent accounts are the exact opposite. We can see their botting activity, and they only contribute to the groundswell of discontent on social media because they have been caught, not because they have been falsely accused. For those who are legitimately caught in the net of our systems, we truly apologize and hope that you understand the nature of what we are trying to build here. We always act to re-enable wrongly affected accounts as soon as possible. And as soon as we have reviewed the evidence, we ask for your patience and understanding during this process, as investigating these accounts will take some time. Separating the truly affected from the bad actors is no simple task. Again, if you have done nothing wrong to violate our terms, your account will be re-enabled as soon as possible. We apologize for the inconvenience caused, and thank you in advance for your patience and understanding.
Yeah, so again, you're going to see people, the moment they're restricted, they're going to claim that they're innocent. They're going to say that they did nothing wrong, and they're going to try to blast VEVE. They're going to try to blast them and say that, why am I disabled? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm innocent. Never done this, never done that. But what they're saying here is that they can trace everything. They can see all your activity. If everything leads back to you, you are guilty in some way. It may not be on that account, but you may be doing this on another account. Let's say you have 3 other devices that are using bots.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're on the same network, so maybe they can trace it back to, hey, all your accounts here are using a bot except your main account, but you're coming from the same network. Like, there's ways that they can prove that you are using a bot, and you can't always claim that you're innocent when there are situations where you're innocent, but what they're saying is that don't believe that everyone that is saying they're innocent is truly innocent. Like, they're using social media as a way to get the community to back up their claims, but it's not always what they say. And those that are innocent, like, I'm sure VEVE will find, that you are an innocent account and will remove your restriction. If there's nothing you've done wrong, I feel like there's nothing you need to worry about. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you've done nothing wrong, you have the evidence to prove that you have no bot or whatever script, I mean, there should be nothing to worry about. The only issue is that you might miss out on an opportunity to buy a particular collectible at a certain price and stuff like that, which is kind of sucks, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, you shouldn't be worried about it if you didn't do anything wrong.
I'm wondering about that too, because you know how they said that new accounts can't use the marketplace.
Yeah.
New accounts, are they able to participate on drops though? Because wouldn't that be part of the issue if they use the bot to get a drop and then they wait out the 72 hours and then transfer it out?
Yeah.
Is that a potential issue?
I don't know. That is tough. Like, because then what's the point of signing up, right? If you're not gonna be able to really participate right off the bat, it's kind of
you can't use
it's kind of unfair.
Like, okay, I signed up and now I have to wait 72 hours so I can try to get a drop or use the marketplace, and it's like,
I mean,
that's gonna suck.
Let's face it. I mean, probably the odds of the new user getting a drop is probably less likely, to be honest. So, I think that they would.
Maybe their first video they watched was a tip and trick video, and
they
were ready to get started. And their first one, like, man, there's beginner's luck. There's a lot of things that they got.
I know. I'm just bitter. That's all. I'm just being bitter, just because I haven't gotten a drop in like decades, and it's been a pretty dry season.
We know why you're not getting drops. Reset that router, man.
All right, man. I'm gonna reset my router, man. If I don't get a drop tomorrow, you and VEVE Vault, y'all gonna expect me to come talking to y'all, come find y'all. So, anyways, but yeah,
it's gonna be a user error,
right? Okay. What about CAPTCHA? CAPTCHA offers the lowest form of bot protection available. They are easy to circumvent regardless of the CAPTCHA type. However, VEVE does use CAPTCHA as an additional security measure. It is shown to any account that is deemed to be different at the point of sale. If you have not or do not see a regular CAPTCHA appear when participating in drops, congratulations, you are using the app correctly and we appreciate your participation. I know that people have
CAPTCHA once.
Oh wow. But I know that people have been like, hey, you guys need to put CAPTCHA, blah blah blah. I mean, the bots can easily, they can easily like overwrite the CAPTCHA and just kind of get through it easily. So, people don't realize that.
Lying.
Yeah,
they're not lying when they say this is the lowest form of bot protection.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm a developer, okay, and I'm gonna tell you, CAPTCHA is the easiest thing to get over. You can Google scripts to bypass CAPTCHA, and you can easily incorporate that into your script.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna CAPTCHA's nothing. Like,
easy. Yeah.
The only reason why they're putting this out here is just to please the community right now. That's the only reason why they have a CAPTCHA.
Honestly, I hate CAPTCHA. Like, it doesn't do, if it serves no purpose, why is it even there, right? Like, because at the end of the day, it just frustrates the actual true user in this kind of sense. So
like,
I don't know.
If you've ever used any type of, if you've ever created, like, I don't know if you ever created a website, if you've created like a WordPress site or anything.
Yeah.
You can enable CAPTCHA for signups, but guess what? You're still getting signups from bot accounts. Because the CAPTCHA does absolutely nothing,
Yeah. If anything,
it's definitely the lowest form.
if anything, it's probably keeping away people who are colorblind or visually impaired, and those are the only people, and they're probably most likely innocent compared
you're
to
genuine people.
I know you're hurting genuine people who are visually impaired in this kind of situation, you know, and it's kind of unfair. Yeah,
they're gonna be like, oh no, I have 4
Yeah.
minutes to get this collected.
I know,
It's
right?
like, what
Oh,
is
God.
this a car or yeah.
Right? Like sometimes I don't even know what they're asking for. Like
Yeah.
there's no train. There's no train in this. What? This train looks like a freaking dump truck. I don't know. So, anyways,
Sure. Yeah, but
Alright.
that, like I said, that's just to please the community there. So
yeah.
there it is. We have captured, guys. It's been there.
Okay, quelling community fears. Okay, outside common misconceptions, there seems to be a wide range of unfounded community fears and claims that we want to put to rest. Number 1, it's only a matter of time before it happens to you. While we do apologize for anyone genuinely caught in the net, our bot systems are designed to detect bots, not real users. If you are using the app as intended, you have nothing to fear. Okay. 2, your account will be disabled for purchasing dirty gems. There has been increasing fear in the community that accounts that are purchasing gems off app, that accounts that transfer gems are more likely to be restricted. There's no truth to this claim unless there is clear evidence that the gem transfer is being used to facilitate a scam or botting activity. Please see terms clause 6.1 AA for more. 3, VEVE blocks people for no reason. We are in the business for selling products.
Definitely.
We in no world does it make sense to randomly restrict accounts on a whim or for no reason. So to reiterate, accounts face restrictions for nefarious activities and violating terms of use. Come on, guys. So yeah.
So, yeah, it's only a matter of time before it happens to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
so
people need to
scripts are
realize.
always-
I think people need to realize that the developers on this app are gonna be constantly modifying and adapting to the app and the platform, right? Because people are always going to be trying to make new bots and change stuff, so they need to be adaptable as well. So it's not like they created one script, done, boom, you know, that's it. I think they're constantly going to try to like change it and modify it to the best of its ability. So eventually the algorithm will recognize, and the accuracy rate will be able to recognize bots and distinguish the two at a higher accuracy rate from this point on, in my opinion.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, like I'm a developer, so I'm going to try to clarify this a little more. As far as like scripts that you write scripts, but the only thing, so these scripts do not have minds of their own, you know, like you have to think like there's certain activities that are repetitive, and they see our repetitive actions that take place from bots, and they can write their scripts to detect these repetitive activities because these are reoccurring things that occur, right? So you write a script that bots are always doing so and so, or they're sending to, let's say, a certain amount of accounts, a certain account is sending or receiving like collectibles from accounts like that are getting banned, like things that are triggering what they're seeing are kind of repetitive, are going to flag these accounts, and they're detected to find those accounts that are for bots because these activities that they've included in their script are activities that are similar to what actual bot accounts are doing. So if this is occurring for you, like they're not doing it on purpose, it's because, you know, there may be cases where you can think of it like a word problem, right? Like you're trying to solve a word problem, and you get to the solution, and then you're checking your work, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, it's wrong, or something's wrong now. You have to refigure out what you're doing on the word problem, right? And you're gonna keep on doing this. But this is like a word problem, and the problem is evolving as you're solving it. So it makes it tricky, you know, because the bots and the creators of bots are always changing. So finding these repetitive actions to disable these users, they're doing it for the bots, but there are times where like users can kind of slip through that. But like I said, if you're not doing anything that is suspicious at all, like if you're not going out there and having 10 accounts send you collectibles daily or something, like you don't have anything to worry about. Like maybe you have a big family and you do have like 5 people sending you collectibles every day because someone's hitting on a drop. Maybe you have a little something to fear because that's kind of suspicious, but other than that, like you really have nothing to fear if you're just using the app how it's meant to be. So in that case, I kind of understand, like they're not trying to get users, they're trying to get bots, and
Yeah.
they're writing their scripts based off of the activities that are occurring repetitively from bots.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Totally
the only
agree.
way to automate the process is, like I said, finding that repetition and using that as a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with these dirty gems, so this is kind of tricky. Like they say that they're not against it, but at the same time, if there's evidence that those gems are facilitating scamming or botting activities, which can seem like the case most of the time, right? Like it's probably a bot that got these gems somehow, and they're passing it on to you, and now you're kind of mixed in with it. So in my opinion, you don't buy gems outside the app and you have nothing to worry about, right?
Yeah.
But that becomes an issue too, because man, buying gems is a pain. It's really a pain because you have to buy a certain amount, then reload the same amount in order to get, like, think about it. If I wanted to buy a walt right now and I had no gems in my account, like how many times do I have to call my bank and charge my card over and over in order to get 40,000 gems in the account? Like that's a pain. But
Yeah.
if you can go to a third-party app and you can just pay like in Ethereum to get 40k gems, that's easy. And I can see why that's the reason why people want to do this, and that's kind of why they can't really punish people for it, because like that's the easiest way to get a large sum of gems. Otherwise, prices are going to be capped out because no one's going to keep on charging your gems like that. You have new users coming in. Like, how do you expect a celebrity to buy a walt and show them off? Because they're not going to sit there and charge their account like $350 for Androids or $600 for Apples every time. Like that's gonna take too long, and yeah, no one wants to do that. So they can't necessarily say they're going to punish you for it, but they can trace where these gems are coming from, and if it's kind of seems like you are involved in gem laundering, if you want to call it, then yeah, they can punish you for that. But yeah, I do see like it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time.
Totally agree. So,
and yeah, they're not blocking people for no reason. Number 3.
exactly. I mean, why would they do that? Come on, guys. Yeah. All right. Why don't we have KYC? VEVE has been built for mainstream non-crypto audience as an easy way to interact with the world of NFTs. KYC, or Know Your Customer practices, form part of a greater set of anti-money laundering regulations. While these practices may seem familiar to those in crypto, implementing a compulsory KYC procedure on signups is not only foreign to most users, it is a huge deterrent and barrier to adoption. Imagine downloading an app you've only just heard of and then having to send your passport information across the internet just to use it. Instead, KYC procedures will be introduced when the money transmitter has been fully integrated into the VEVE app for anyone wishing to withdraw funds to their bank account, as they pertain to a financial transaction, not just an account creation. KYC has not been fully rolled out, and we are working on various methods to introduce KYC at certain levels to offer a better user experience. So yeah, I mean,
I know.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and that's why VEVE has grown so much, right? Because in order for them to really bring in the mainstream audience who is not into crypto, this was kind of a good play in a sense, right? Because who wants to put, like they said, who wants to put their own personal information on an app? And people are just going to feel very off-put by the the action right here, that you have to submit your own personal information here, but I like how they're kind of going about where they're saying whenever if someone wants to cash out, etc., then you're dealing with a third, you're dealing with something else, and that you're dealing with like handling profits and something financial and a bank as well. The bank wants to know, oh, okay, where's this money coming from? So of course you're gonna have to show some proof, just because of anti-money laundering regulations, and you don't want to mess with that. So
yeah, so their whole point in introducing people to this marketplace was to make it a very easy user experience, and that is why we're able to get so many people into the app, is because it's easy, right? It's easy to get someone to just download the app and start going for drops. That's easy. But the moment, like, think about it, like you have like Netflix and Disney Plus. So on Netflix you could just download it, create an account, and you're good to stream it. But say Disney Plus, you have to do the same thing, but you also have to, send your driver's license or passport and take a photo with your license to prove that you're the person that's, setting up this account. Like, no one's gonna want to go through that, right?
yeah,
Disney's not gonna have as many customers as Netflix because of that, because no one wants to go through the steps and take a photo of themselves and send their credit card, or send their, sorry, not the credit card, but their driver's license or passport. Yeah, as someone in the crypto space, that's normal, because when you get on exchanges like Binance, or if you're using Coinbase, you have to KYC.
yeah,
So that's normal, and you understand that because there is cashing out that can be made from this. So the entry to VEVE, how they want it, is fair, that they don't have KYC, right? But yeah, if you do want to cash out, or if you do want to send your collectibles to like Immutable X, where you also can cash out, right? Any type of withdrawal that can happen, there needs to be some type of KYC for that. So in that case, KYC makes sense. And we talked about it yesterday, that also prevents them from massively trying to KYC every single account that gets created, versus only trying to KYC accounts that are trying to withdraw, because that will cut down on a ton of time too. Now having 1.9 million, that is going to take forever to do, and I know Vivo said that it took like a month or so for like Top Shots, but Top Shots has like a quarter of the user base that VEVE has right now. So
yeah,
imagine that, and then times 4, it's gonna take a long time.
yeah, totally agree.
Only to see people throwing out like, or photoshopping fake IDs or whatnot, and still getting through KYC, because if you're rushing through this process, you're not going to spend that much time really proving it's a legitimate account.
All right.
Cool.
Next section is a community initiative. Combating bots is a collective responsibility, and one that we know that VEVE fam takes serious. With this in mind, there are a number of things you can do to cut down on this nefarious activity. We are asking for your help to do so. 1. Thanks to a recent app update, you can now see collectibles for sale in the market in list form, giving you much more information about the seller. If one or more of these accounts seems suspicious to you, you have the option to purchase a different item. Therefore, not supporting these accounts. 2. We now have a bot reporting channel in VEVE Discord. The bot reports hashtag channel is specifically to share information about bot groups, bot sales, and any other service advertising a way to cheat on VEVE. And we ask for your ongoing assistance in identifying these malicious accounts. Note, the bot reports channel is not for mere suspicions. If you're providing information on malicious accounts, we require you to post screenshots that include mint numbers, VEVE usernames, and evidence of botting to reduce the noise of any unfair accusations. So I like that they're trying to include the users and to be a part of this, and this ongoing battle between bots, and of course creating like a great experience for new users as well as existing users. So it's kind of nice that they're really encouraging us and users to be a part of this initiative to to stop bots and create an environment and atmosphere that is positive and enjoyable for the VEVE platform.
Yeah, and they talked about the app update where they're showing usernames, with the list of in the marketplace, and yeah, I like that because you do see the sell walls and stuff. I mean, that at the same time, that kind of is what turned Poolside into like a meme. And
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the guy, but I mean, it is what it is, right? And yeah, the bot report channels, they're pretty much saying, pretty much don't just because you suspect someone is botting, you gotta have like some form.
Yeah,
of
some kind of proof, Yeah.
Like don't just submit everything because you're just overwhelming them at that point, and people are gonna be sending so many stuff that it's gonna slow their workflow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you don't really want to nag them. You want to actually give them something informative,
Yeah, totally.
Sweet. Let's go. Oh,
okay. All right, last section. All right, let's do this. Moving forward, VEVE is constantly evolving ecosystem. A number of developments in the pipeline that will further assist to cut down on botting and similar activities. First and foremost, the new waiting drop system gives everyone the same chance to secure a reservation with completely randomized allocations. Second, Master Collector program will create further barriers for nefarious actors, as those using VEVE legitimately will have a greater access to features and benefits within the app. This includes additional limitations on newer accounts, such as limited collectible transfers and limited gem transfers to stem any fake scam transactions. Similarly, the OME utility program will serve to benefit token holders with additional access and benefits, helping to increase your chances of landing a collectible drop. Third, an update to the onboarding process will require new users to enter their full name when creating an account. Terms of use specify that all account details must be accurate, including your date of birth must be provided when requested. This information will remain private, and users will still have a public-facing user name on their own choosing. Existing collectors will be given an opportunity to update this information via a support ticket. In both instances, it must match the name of their government-issued ID. While this is not KYC as such, it will help us to discern the genuine accounts from the nefarious when any issues of the nature arise, allowing us to re-enable said accounts in a more timely fashion. As the platform continues to grow, so does the competition for digital collectibles releases. And we want to reiterate again that the odds of landing a drop when competing against 200k plus other collectors is unlikely at best. For most collectors, finding the perfect deal in the market is more than half of the fun. It is always available for you to complete your sets and add to your favorite collections. At the end of the day, VEVE has and always will be in development. We hear and understand your concerns and will continue to refine our bot protections, and based on the real-time data information that we receive, create a healthier ecosystem for all. In addition, we endeavor to improve our communications around these policies and procedures in the future, particularly in those instances where false positives may occur, so that we can continue to celebrate and enjoy our fandoms together. All right.
So that was like a summary of almost everything there. Man, I really hope a lot of these changes are going to be better, but how I feel about the waiting room.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. To be honest, like I said, it could be good or bad. It just depends how the Master Collector program goes, as well as the OME utility opportunity for people to get an advantage. So yeah, we'll see.
Too, they mentioned the market, even using the secondary market here. So if you don't no, like bots are gonna be a thing in the marketplace pretty soon too. When they start releasing the web base of the market and maybe even including APIs or whatnot, like there's gonna be trading bots, and they're gonna recognize these trading patterns, and they're going to at the same time set buy and sell limits, and gonna go on. Bots are
with the opportunity, you know, when they enable like sell limits and stuff or buy limits, it's gonna be interesting, because now you give something, an opportunity for people to write, you know, I don't know, like you mentioned, right? When there's API data,
you set that up on your trading bot, so you can have your trading bot set up what you want to sell for and what you want to buy for, or you can have it scripted to automatically buy and sell at certain levels based on analytics from the history of that collectible. So there's a lot of things that can occur, and pretty soon, you know, with the waiting room, maybe that's going to stop botting on drops. Then there's going to be botting or trading bots on the marketplace as well. There's going to be bots they're not a thing you can completely get rid of. So it's just things that to be aware of that may be coming in near future as well, you know.
Yeah, and just at this point, you just kind of have to embrace it and find your strategy, and just kind of have to live with certain prices. But do know that you know, if you know the value of one and you like the collectible, you know, why not buy it, right? So so you just gotta know your price.
Yeah, well, like I always say, scalping may not be for everyone, so buy what you like and buy based off of, you know, what your price target is long term, and don't worry about the short term.
For sure.
Cool, great.
Right.
That was a long article, man.
I am exhausted from reading all that. But that was a large amount of information. But it's good that they're addressing it, and at the end of the day, you know, they're doing it for the experience, you know, so it's good.
So this was actually even our first time that we actually just went live randomly just to throw out one of these videos, so that was interesting. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so we appreciate you know, the viewers who joined up, and those that just kind of left a comment and stuff like that. Appreciate you guys so much. So yes, sir.
Yeah, let's end it on that. Great. If you like this, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe to the videos, to us, show us some love, show some support. We appreciate it, and we're tuning out. Like we always say, we're all gonna make it. See you guys.
Peace out.